Hey guys, so in this video I decided to combine two of my favorite things, horses and books. I thought I would share my favorite equestrian books because there's not always, you can never find, if I can talk, you can never find a whole lot of equestrian books like in the young adult genre. So I thought I'd share a few with you guys. Some of them you may have heard before. Others you may have not. And you might have just, you might want to pick up a few of these books. And if you guys know of any more equestrian books that's not featured in this video, you can feel free to comment them down below and I'll have a look. And yeah, and another thing, most of these books are middle grade books because, like I said, it's very hard to find equestrian based books in the young adult genre. So let's get into the video. This is my heartbeat song and I'm gonna play it. Been so long I forgot how to turn it up, 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 up all night long, up, up all night long. So the first three books that I have that are part of a series of books, and the first three that I have here to show you guys, most of you probably have heard of most of all of them. All three are well-known series, so yeah. So the first one I have is the Heartland series by Lauren Brooke, and this is still this one is still my all-time favorite book series. I was completely obsessed with these series growing up. They totally fueled my love for horses because of these books that I am still involved in the equestrian world. And now with the TV show, and the books are like the main reason I'm so obsessed with the TV show because it's just like a continuation of the books. So and of course they're not really that big. I mean, I haven't read them for a while, but I could probably get through like at least most of the series in a day. And there is 20 books in the series plus 4 special editions, which I really didn't like that much. They were good, but I personally didn't like them. And so that is the Heartland series by Lauren Brooke. And then the next series is the Phantom Stallion series by Terry Foley. And this is also a well-known book series. I actually it was these two books that I was completely obsessed with. Like when I started. Well, I was always reading, but when I really became an avid reader, it was these two books. Like, and they're so different, but yet the same. So yeah, I know there's some people who don't like this series because maybe it's a little bit unrealistic, and yes, you do realize that you can't. Like it's very far-fetched, to have a special connection with the wild stallion, but if you think about it, the stuff that happens in there is kind of realistic, and I don't want to give away the plot for those who haven't read it, but I mean, if you think about it, like where he started off, with her, and so I just, and this is a 24 book series. Absolutely love every single book. Yeah. And then the next one is also a well-known book series, more recent. It is the Cannibal Quest series by Jessica Burkhart. This one is it's a 20 book series. Like, I know it's like split in half when we switch characters in this one, but this is about a boarding school, an equestrian boarding school. Follows this from girl Sasha and her horse Tom. And it's different because it's not Yes, it has horses. Yes, it's a equestrian boarding school. Um, but it also has like regular teen drama. Um, yeah. So it's not like solely 100% about horses. So if you don't want to read about the drama and boys who likes who, all that stuff, if you don't really want to read about that, it's probably not a series for you. But it does have a really, really good, like, horses is like 95% what the series is about. Just the other 5%, if you don't want to read about that, series not for you. But I've thoroughly enjoyed this series. Again, it is a middle grade book, but I enjoyed it anyways, because if you're an equestrian, you love any book you can get a hold of. Okay, I can't talk in this video. Okay, so I'll just repeat right now. These 3 books, like, one of my favorite series. I still love them. So they're displayed prominently on my shelf right here. Yeah. So those are my favorites. Well, all-time favorites. All the books I have featured in here are my favorites. So this next one is non-fiction. It is the biography of Barbaro, the famous racehorse. He raced in the 2006 Kentucky Derby and won it. And then he went in to race in the Preakness, but then he broke down in the first 100 yards of the race. But reason I have this book is because he was the first racehorse that I was behind 100%. Like, I watched the 2004 Belmont Stakes with Smarty Jones, and I was rooting for him. But then I wasn't like that active in the horse racing industry. But 2006 was I kind of got into it more, and I went to watch the races. I saw him in the Kentucky Derby. I loved him. I was like, I saw something special in him, and yeah, and then he broke down in the Preakness, and the whole country pulled them, and yeah, and this follows his entire life from when he was born through to when he died. And there was some awesome pictures in here. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite books. And then the next 2 are the Misty of Shinkotig and Misty's Twilight, both by Margaret Henry. I'm sure like all of you know what this book is. It's about the wild ponies of Assateague Island, and I actually did a project about Assateague Island in 7th grade, I believe. Yeah. So, yeah. And Misty's Twilight is the sequel to this book. It's about I think it's a descendant of Misty. I didn't know that, but I read this book first. Back then, I had a tendency to read the sequels first before the first book, not knowing, like, yeah. So actually, yeah. But again, 2 very, very good books. I highly recommend these if you're into them. And then the next book, it's another book, kind of a fantasy book. But I actually really, really enjoyed this book. I guess you could call it a middle grade book, but has a, like, I don't know, you could if you're like in high school or whatever, you could like get away with reading this book. It's called The Horse from the Sea by Victoria Holmes. I honestly recommend this book. It has a little bit of like not fantasy elements, because it's set in Ireland, and back when it takes place in like historical times. Again, it's kind of like it's like not this magical stallion, but it's kind of like a Spanish ship wrecks on the shore of where this girl Nora lives, and she finds a stallion, she finds a lost boy, and it's like, no, it's not, definitely not fantasy, but but I was totally invested in these characters. I couldn't put it down. I like, yeah. So yeah, she yes. This I think they're like on the verge of war or something, and she a Spanish ship wrecks on the beach near our house, and she helps this stallion and this soldier. He's like a few years older than her, and he helps them secretly, helps them out. And I won't give you away what happens, but I totally recommend this. So yeah. And next three books are not really middle grade books. Like, I kind of consider them YA. And this next book, it's The First Horse I See by Sally M. Keene. And it's exactly what the title says. This girl, she goes out, she's looking to buy her first horse. And guess what? She ends up buying the first horse she sees, and it's totally an not a rational decision, because she buys it on impulse. She goes with her heart instead of her head, just because this horse was abused, and she sees this horse, she wants to make it better, and it's all about her. And as you can probably predict, things don't go according to plan. She starts to, because pretty much the reasons why you should always look around and not buy the first horse you see, even though that's not what I did. But sometimes it doesn't always work out perfectly, and there's definitely some trials and tribulations with this. But overall, a very good book, and I highly recommend this. Really highly recommend this. It's like, yeah. And this next book, it's Blind Beauty by K.M. Payton. It's about steeplechase racing. It's like this adventure, and this she was not criminal, but she was in juvie, I believe. It's been a while since I read this. But she comes to this ranch, and it's about steeplechasing. So it's a very high action adventure book. I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed all the books in this list, in case you don't know. But I don't want to give any spoilers. And it's been a while since I read this book, but I remember it being like very actiony and adventure-y, and kept me on my toes. And they're an unlikely team, but who does not like that? And then the last book on this list is another non-fiction. It's Chosen by a Horse by Susan Richards, and I believe she is actually kind of telling the story. It essentially, she buys I'll just read the summary of this one. The horse Susan Richards chose for rescue wouldn't be crowded into her waiting trailer, but lay me down, a former racehorse with a foal close on her heels, walked right up that ramp and into Susan's life. Weak from malnutrition, Lay Me Down had endured a rough road, but somehow her heart was still open and generous. Then fate brought her into Susan's paddock, where she taught this broken-hearted woman how to embrace the joys of life despite the dangers of living. is a very, very touching and moving book. Based off a true story, like this actually happened to her, the author. It's very emotional. You will cry in this book, but I highly recommend it. It's, yeah, like I couldn't, like, very emotional, very tearful. I highly recommend it. You will not regret reading this book. Yeah, so that's all I gotta say about that. So those are my, like, favorite equestrian books. I kind of hope maybe you saw a few of your favorites in here. Maybe a few new ones. Maybe a few new ones in here. So yeah, so comment down below if you like any of these books, or you have any new ones that you think I should read. And I'll see you guys next time.
This is my heartbeat song and I'm gonna play it. Turned it on, but I know you can take it up, 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 up all night long. Oh, up, up all night long.
So, see how many times I can say so in this video. Okay. Hold on.